Hello everyone, my name is Michelle. You can find me at rememberlovehealing.com. You can also find me on Instagram at rememberlove. So I wanted to create this video for those who have just taken the Crystal Reiki certification course, or if you are a Reiki practitioner and haven't had the opportunity to see too many clients or are about to see your first client. There's things that a lot of us aren't really prepared for, especially those who have taken a certification course and do not have the support or any sort of mentorship afterwards. So this video is intended for those who just kind of want to know the ins and out. There's going to be some tips and techniques. This is going to be geared more towards Crystal Reiki, but any Reiki practitioner can absolutely use this video. In addition, there are things that some of us aren't prepared for, and there are other things that totally make a difference for the client. So with me today in my living room, I have my clients.
Hello.
So I'm going to talk briefly about some tips even before you get started, even before your client walks in through the door or you walk in through your client's door, that you absolutely need to have ready. The most important pieces of equipment that you're going to own is your massage table. Now, there are a lot of options on Amazon. Some go for really, really inexpensive and others are way pricier. There's a couple things that you want to look out for when you are purchasing a massage table. Number one, how much weight does it hold? So some of our clients might be on the heavier side, and that's fine. We're all working through our things. So you want to make sure that your table holds the weight. This particular massage table holds about 450 pounds. So I'm confident that it's going to hold most of my clients, if not all of my clients. If you have a massage table that holds between 200 and 300, the worst thing that could happen is that your client or heavier set client sits on your table and it cracks or it breaks. So you want to make sure that it holds enough weight and that you're doing proper maintenance. Make sure all the screws and bolts are in there. Make sure that there's no cracks on the wood that need to be addressed. Keep in a good condition. This is going to be a lifesaver for you and for your client. If you feel called to work in a client's home, I will suggest not working off from their beds. That's what I did in the beginning because I didn't have a massage table. So I'm like, oh, I can totally do it while the client's lying on the bed. It's going to mess up your back, absolutely, guaranteed 100%. You're not going to be comfortable. The client will be super comfortable, but you are not going to be able to get the work done correctly. So number one is your massage table. How much weight does it hold? And I highly recommend that it has a face hold. Let me see if I can move the camera.
Face thingy bob?
The face thingy bob. You want to lay down?
Yeah.
So
Wait, it comes with that thing for your
yes. So this massage table actually has two face hole options. So it has this one that's already built in, and then there is a second option for our taller clients.
We almost dropped this.
And this one extends. So if you have a client that's a little taller, thank you.
Welcome.
You can put this in the front part. Put it down. There you go.
Is it comfy?
Is it comfy?
Good
So
night.
this little itty bitty client doesn't need it, but for your taller clients, you will got a lot of benefit from that. And this is if the client wishes to turn around. If you want to work with the back area, you can. Most of my clients end up falling asleep, so it is an option to have, and it's really, really good. So you're comfortable and your client is comfortable. All right, so now you're ready. You have your massage table, It has a hole, it's in good condition, there's no cracks, and it holds plenty of weight, so there is no incident with any of your clients. Now, we're still in the pre-phase, we're not there yet. So before you see a client, there's certain things that you need to do to prep yourself. It's really, really important to make sure that you are grounded, to make sure that you are hydrated, and to make sure that you are clean. The worst thing that could happen is for you to see a client and you have a funk. So make sure you are showered, make sure your clothes are clean, make sure your hair is clean, and that you don't have any heavy perfumes on. Some clients are very, very sensitive to perfumes, and if you put it on and the client's here and they can't breathe because you smell like Dior, and Dior reminds them of some horrible trauma in their past, or they just can't stand the smell, or they're just highly sensitive, you will potentially lose the client, or the client can't relax and enjoy themselves. So make sure that you are a blank canvas, as blank as possible. If you want to go ahead and wear neutral colors, you can do that as well. If you want to wear colors that are aligned with your own energy, do that. Do whatever works for you and what makes you feel comfortable. The next tip is jewelry. So while we love to wear the dangly jewelries that make all the sounds, all the crystals, keep it to a minimum. I wouldn't suggest any bracelets, because if the client is laying down and their eyes are closed and they're trying to relax and they're about to fall asleep, one of the most annoying sounds that they hear is your hand moving over their head. So try to remove any bracelets, especially if they have a little dangly noise. Your long necklaces. I actually make these, so I love wearing them. If you can put it inside your shirt, because as you hover over the client, if your necklace is going to go over, it might bump them. You don't want that. Or just remove it altogether. I like to tuck it inside my shirt because for sure it's not going to come out. Most of my shirts are up here. It's holding it in. Earrings are okay. Yeah, so make sure that you are a blank canvas and you don't have any offensive smells to you. Now, if you want to prepare the room for a client, or when you're preparing a room for a client, there's other things that you can do and you shouldn't do. So if you want to play soft music, I recommend soft music. I'm actually going to link a song into this video because it has a chime every 3 minutes, and it's a tip, or it's a clue that you should move on to the next chakra if you are done. If you want to stay in the chakra, that's fine, but it's really good to make sure that you get all of them, and then you get a little extra time at the end. Before you start burning your sage and your incense and stuff like that, one of the questionnaire questions that I included, I will include the questionnaire for those of you who are interested, is, are you allergic, or is it okay if I burn holy wood or palo santo or sage or incense? Most of the time, the client doesn't have a problem. But when they have a problem, it's a serious problem. So you want to make sure that you're not burning anything prior to the client coming in. And if you are between clients, make sure that you give yourself enough time. I usually like between 15 to 20 minutes between clients to make sure that the air is clear, as if I do burn incense with the last client and the next client can't smell it. If you are one who likes to diffuse oils, same thing. Make sure that in your intake form that you are asking, are you okay with diffusing oils, lavender? Some people might not like lavender or mint or whatever. If you want to put essential oils on your hand, same thing. Ask your client before, is it okay? Can I use lavender? Are you allergic? Or is there something that I need to know before I put on any essential oils? Never put on essential oils on your client. You're not touching your client at all. Crystal Reiki, any type of Reiki is non-touch. So we are not touching anybody. I can't emphasize that enough. So especially during Reiki, when the client's senses are heightened, especially towards the end, you want to make sure that they're okay with whatever you're burning, whatever you're diffusing, whatever you have on. All right. So now you have your intake form. Your client has filled out the intake form. You have taken a look at it. Be very mindful of how you ask questions if you're going to have your own intake form. We are not doctors. We're not here to cure. We're not here to fix. We are energy workers, and especially in certain states that have very, very strict laws, I'm looking at you, Florida, you have to be really mindful on how you ask things. So make sure that you research any state or local laws to make sure that you are in compliance. If you need to hire an attorney, hire an attorney. All right, so now we're ready to see our clients. What do we do? Stay tuned. All right, so now you're ready. Your client has filled out their intake form. You are hydrated. You have cleansed and charged your crystals before and after each client. That's what that 15-minute break is for between clients. You don't want to see them two back to back. Take as much time if you need. You think 30 minutes is best because you need to ground yourself or whatever. Go for it, right? So prior to anything, your client knows to dress comfortably because you were responsible and told them, make sure you dress comfortably. Athletic pants, leggings, a t-shirt, whatever. And you are also dressed comfortably. Worst thing is having like super tight pants that are constricting, whatever it's constricting, so you can't breathe while you have your client. So, hi Olivia, how are you today?
Good.
I'm so happy that you're here to see me. I already know what you want to focus on. I'm so excited. She's super excited too, can you tell? So your massage table is going to have a fresh set of linens between clients. If you are working in an office or a clinical setting, you will have somebody taking care of this for you. If you're on your own, you will have a stack of clean linens. Each linen, you can buy it online as well, that matches your massage table. This linen is not for this massage table, I know. This is a bed linen that is clean for us. So, you're going to ask your client to please lay down on their back first. If they want to place their little head in the hole, they can.
I want to do it. I want to put my head in the hole.
So she is ready. She is
Head in the hole.
going to relax as much as possible. We thank Olivia for doing this, and she will get a treat of a Rice Krispie treat later.
No.
No? Chocolate bunny?
Yeah.
A chocolate bunny later. So you're going to ask your clients to take your shoes off. Make sure that they should know from the intake form what a Reiki session is. They know that it's non-touching. We are not touching. So we're going to ask Olivia to just relax, to close your eyes.
Can I put my head in the head thingy bobby bob?
In a minute. So
Okay.
scoot down a little bit. Okay.
Ow. My head's in the hole.
The other thing, a client, when they are laying down, while they may look relaxed because their legs are down, they're putting a lot of stress on their lower back. So we're going to have either a pillow to elevate their knees a little bit, or this massage table, which I will link below. It's amazing. Comes with a little, like, I'm just calling it leg thingy.
Leg thingy bob.
Leg thingy bob. Lift up your legs.
Ow.
Okay. Are you comfortable?
No.
What do you need?
I don't like this.
You don't like this? Okay, so in any circumstance, this will be for the client. And then we are going to ask you to put your legs down.
Okay.
So a normal client that's not 8 years old will have this underneath their legs so they can be able to relax and not put so much stress on their back. Ready?
Yeah.
So we smudge, we've cleansed, we've had our intake form, we know what we need to focus on. We're going to do the whole treatment. So for those of us that are doing crystal Reiki, I have a small plate of crystals here.
I don't see it.
You got ants in your pants, lady.
There was an ant on this
Alright.
earlier.
So you can put I probably wouldn't put the stones here like I just did. I would have a separate table because, of course, you can kick it off. But for this video, we're just going to put it here in the little corner. Please calm down. So we are going to, client is relaxed, client has her eyes closed, we have nice relaxing music. We are placing our stones depending on where the energy is. That is up to your discretion. You know where the crystals need to be. If you're watching this video and you are interested in Crystal Reiki, please feel free to just send me a message, or you can also sign up at rememberlovehealing.com. I am running courses throughout the year. So, client is ready. We're pretending we're putting in our stones. Close your eyes. Good kitty.
It's cold.
When you place your stones, make stones that the stones are stable. Sometimes we have like these giant clusters, which might look pretty and the energy feels right, but if we're going to put it in a spot like your tummy, we might have a client that has the extra giggles, right? Okay, so we're going to put the stones around. If you are going to do your root chakra and you're going to use a crystal, we're not going to put it in the root area. Obviously, don't make it weird. We are going to put it at the bottom of your feet, or if they have just enough space, you can say, hey, can you open your feet up slightly, and you can put it right here in the middle. We're aware of our spacing, and we're aware that we're not touching or moving something inappropriately. If you're going to put a stone on your third eye,
No.
it's a nice flat space. I like to use the stones that are flatter on the bottom because they stay.
Cold.
So cold. Ta-da!
It's cold.
And if you want to use a stone for the crown chakra, obviously we can't lay it right on top of her head, but we can lay it right above there. Now,
It's cold.
so if you feel inclined to create a crystal grid for your clients, you can do that. If you have stones that are small enough, for example, Herkimer diamonds are really functional because they're tiny and you can create a small microgrid on their, for example, on their solar plexus. I know, right?
Shiny.
So you can create a small grid here. This is just an example. You can create a small grid if the chest area allows it. It doesn't always. I much prefer, if this area is not available to me, is to create a grid underneath the massage table. It still works. It's still valid. The
How do you
client
do
still
that?
feels the energy. I'll show you in a minute.
Okay.
The client still feels the energy. And you want to make sure that it's amplified. You can place a piece of clear quartz wherever the grid is located. So if I want to focus on the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, I'll just place it underneath and I'll place a piece of quartz to amplify that energy. And then of course, all the tips and techniques that we learned during class, you can apply them here. Remember, with Reiki, we're not touching the clients. I know I am trying to place the crystal as gently as possible, letting the client know, hey, this is what I'm doing. I am placing this crystal here. And here's a tip. The client should be involved in their own healing. The client should absolutely be involved in their healing. So if you give the client the option to pick their own stone or see what stone resonates with them, try to include that in your session. All right, so client is ready. Hi, clients.
Hello.
Crystals are placed. Let's just put some random crystals here for right now. I like the selenite for you, Olivia.
This is heavy.
It's heavy. It's your itty bitty.
Yes,
Right here.
itty bitty.
Open your legs. We'll put some clear quartz here, and then we're gonna put some labradorite here. Here, turn your head, look up.
Okay.
Thank you. You gotta stay looking up. Thank you very much. All right, so client is ready. We have our stones. When you're working with your clients, you can start off wherever you want. You can start off in the head, which is what I recommend. I always start off on top, on the crown chakra, third eye, temples. This one's my favorite. Does it feel funny?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I feel heat waves.
Do you feel heat waves?
Yes.
Is it relaxing?
No.
Is it giddy? Does it make you giddy?
Yes.
Yes. All
I
right.
don't know what that means.
You put one hand over your throat or both areas, your heart chakra, your solar plexus. You can put your hand over here on the sides, sacral, roots, and a lot of people's favorites, the bottom of your feet.
No.
I'm not going to touch your feet, don't worry.
No.
When I started with my own teacher, she suggested that I touch the people's feet.
No.
Unless I'm comfortable with the client, like if it's my husband, if it's a family member that has all right feet, then I'm cool with it. But if it's a client, especially somebody that I'm not familiar with, somebody that I don't know, in a clinical setting or in a setting that professionally you shouldn't be touching people's feet. It's weird, it's awkward, it's kind of icky. It makes the person feel uncomfortable. And legally, in a lot of places, it's not recommended. So use your own discretion at touching people's feet. Sometimes it's just as easy as placing your hands over or underneath.
No.
See, it tickles. It gives people the giddies.
I have ticklish fights.
I know. Some people are really, really ticklish. So let's
Well, when
not
you tickle
do
me,
that.
I'll be ticklish.
Okay. So you don't have to touch them. If you've had a teacher that says, yeah, you can just gently place your hands on their feet and you don't feel like doing it, don't do it. The energy, you don't have to touch your client. You can just put it up. All right, so Olivia's done. We've done a session. The dings have gone on for all the chakra centers. All right, so now we have finished doing our magic things. We have laid out the crystals. Now, this is the part where you have the option of either telling the client to please turn around, or, which happens to me a lot, if the client has fallen asleep or is extremely relaxed, we can just leave them in this position. So if the client stays in this position or they prefer not to turn around, you can ask them in the beginning of the session if they prefer to turn around or not. You can just go, again, repeat the same chakra sequence from the bottom to the top. And you're done. If the client does wish to turn around, you can just gently tap them on the shoulder and say, it's time to turn around now. So turn around. Olivia is an amazing client today. No, just here. Since this is not the sheet, an actual sheet would have the face hole already done for you.
Yes.
So we ask the client to turn around, and without smacking them like I just did my daughter, we are able to lay down our crystals on their back. Always being mindful of their areas. If you don't want to make it awkward, keep it real. So since you don't have access to the third eye from the back, and sometimes the client's hair makes it difficult, if you're able to lay the stone behind the client's head, go ahead. I don't usually recommend it. It still works if I lay it on the side of the client's head. And it still receives the energy in the top area. If you feel called to do a crystal grid up here, you can do so as well, or you can still maintain it at the bottom of the massage table. Now, you've done the sequence again, top to bottom is how I prefer to work. If you prefer to work the other way, you can do that as well. At the end, I like to make sure that their aura is cleansed. I like to use a piece of selenite wand and just go over them, making sure that there's no stagnant energy or there's no areas that I might have missed. Then we're done. So at this time, I like to give my clients maybe 5 minutes to themselves. So I'll just gently tap them on the shoulder and whisper to them that we're done. And to come up at their own pace. So you can let them know, hey, we're complete. You can come up whenever you're ready. I'll be sitting right here. You can step out of the room for a moment, or if you prefer just to sit in the corner and wait for them to just come to, you're more than welcome to do that. All right. Thank you very much, Olivia. So once the client has come to, they're vibing, this is the part where you are going to share. What I do like to tell my students is that once you start doing a Reiki or working with energy, you start receiving information, channeling information, seeing things energetic-wise. So I highly encourage you to share that. And when I say share, it's, hey, seems like you're a little ungrounded. I saw a lot of red, or I had this feeling of being uncomfortable in this area. And sometimes the client's going to share with you what they were feeling. Sometimes they don't. So use your discretion again, share what you've feeling, what you're seeing, and it might resonate with your client, and sometimes it doesn't. But just share. It's always important to share because sometimes since you are channeling and you are the antenna to let the energy through to the client, you do pick up on a few things. The other part that I do like to tell my students is make your client an active participant, meaning that while you can do Reiki every single day for your client and it's fantastic for you, you get all the practice in, the client's not really doing the work. The client has to do the work. So, have a little kit ready for them, have a crystal ready for them. I like to buy quartz in bulk and give it to my clients, or a little bit of my homegrown sage or incense. There's a lot of inexpensive things that you can help your client be an active participant in their energetic and their spiritual healing. If you feel that the client has a lot of issues as far as grounding, for example, you can give them tips and techniques. I actually do have a link on my website with a book that gives you all the information. So if you notice that your client is having issues with their root chakra, you can say, hey, these are the crystals that you can use. These are foods that you can take. These are techniques that you can do outside of food or crystals. These are exercises that you can do in order to bring that back into harmony. Because while you can do so much, the client has to take it the rest of the way. So make sure that they're an active participant in their own healing. Now, once your client is set up, you have set them up with all the information. If you want to get feedback, make sure to let your client know that sometimes some people feel a lot, some people might feel hot, some people might feel cold, and sometimes they don't feel anything at all. Reiki goes to where it needs to go. Also, make sure that at the end you tell your client to stay hydrated. With Reiki, everything is working at a heightened level, at top optimization, I guess is a word. So make sure that they stay hydrated and they eat nutrient-dense foods. So avoid things that can alter your mood, like caffeine or alcohol. And junk food just in general isn't good for you, but especially now because you want to make sure that Reiki continues working for them for as long as possible. As far as you, between these 15 minutes between clients, make sure that you are grounding yourself. Make sure that you are also staying hydrated. If you've used crystals, make sure that you are cleansing them and clearing them before and after each client. Make sure that you're changing your sheets, changing your linens. If you feel that you are a little icky, it's always good to have a change of clothes or at least a change of shirts somewhere nearby so you can change and still have that fresh feeling and you're not smelling for your next client. Make sure you disinfect everything, disinfect your table, and you're ready for the next intake form. Make sure you take some time to look at it before you see your client, especially if they are going to be opposed to essential oils, sage, smudging, and all that stuff. I hope this helped somebody somewhere. I hope that I gave you a little more confidence to taking in your first client. These are things that I wish somebody had told me before I saw my first client. So I feel that sharing this information can set you up for success and for raising the collective. We are energy workers and sometimes we don't have a lot of guidance, especially when we are kind of out here on our own. Again, my name is Michelle Mello. You can find me online at rememberlovehealing.com. You can also find me on Instagram at rememberlove. And I also do have a podcast. It's called Spilling the Tea Leaves, and you can listen to that wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And I'm going to link all the things that I spoke about before, including the massage table, the sheets, the PDF where all the guidelines and all the information for foods and exercises when the client has an off-balance root chakra. And I think that's it. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me at rememberlovehealing.com. You can also DM me on Instagram, and I will see you in the next video. Love and lights, and I'll see you next time. Bye.